Today we have a new bike to showcase. This is the Velotric Discover 1 High Step. The Velotric Discover 1 comes in two different designs, a high step design as well as a step through design. Now I've done a video previously on the step through design as well as a full on range test, but today we're going to see what this high step has to offer. Now Velotric is a fairly new brand that hit the market recently, but that hasn't stopped them from taking on some of the biggest brands in a pretty big way. Their overall mission is to be one of the most comfortable and sustainable electric commuter bikes out there. Now speaking of comfort, let's talk a little bit more about what makes the Discover 1 more comfortable than other commuter bikes on the market. Comfort all comes down to ergonomics. The frame geometry gives you the perfect reach for most riders between 5'4" and 6'9". Now the Discover 1 High Step is able to have that range of height and comfort by utilizing the adjustability of the handlebar as well as the seat and seat post. The handlebars have a 38-degree back sweep and are 680 millimeters wide. The handlebars are also attached to a Velotric custom designed stem that has 10 degrees of rise. The seat has a lift handle that is customized by Velotric to keep comfort and adjustability in mind. Now both those things matter so much when it comes to riding for a long period of time. Most people are riding between 10 and 15 miles whether they're going to work or just out having a nice stroll. So you want to make sure you have the proper ergonomics to make sure your body isn't hurting during and after the ride. And this is probably one of the most comfortable setups I've actually ever ridden. Now that you have a better understanding of what comfort and ergonomics means to Velotric, let's talk a little bit more about the specs and power of the Discover 1 High Step. Starting with the cockpit, you're greeted by a comfortable yet durable set of grips. On the right side, you have a 7-speed Shimano gear set that's married to a Shimano derailleur. You can ride the Discover 1 High Step like a traditional bike, running through all of the gears with no resistance from the electric hub motor. Now one thing I think is really worth noting on this bike is the walk feature. Now you can use the walk feature for one of two things. You can either step off of the bike and use the walk feature to be able to help assist the bike in whatever direction you're trying to go. You hold the minus key and it'll show a P on there, showing P for the assist, and it's walking me along. This will be used for any type of gradual hill that you can't necessarily push the bike up, or maybe rough terrain or grass or anything like that. Now that same function can also be pretty useful with assisting your initial push off to ride. So you can put your foot firmly on the pedal, hold that minus key, and it'll start your motion forward, and then you can get pedaling. Actually, we just got to a perfect way to be able to represent how this walk assist feature can be utilized. This is a pretty steep hill, and I mean, I could push the bike up, but obviously my body weight is more so pushing into the handlebar to be able to kind of push/drag this bike up this hill. But instead, I'll just hold this minus key and it'll do all the work for me. I could do it one-handed all the way up this big hill, no issues, and this is perfect for a lot of people. Now that's also one of the most crucial things out there. When you're buying an electric bike, you want to make sure that you can ride it like a regular bike as well, because there's going to be times where you just want to cruise and you don't want to have to put on the electric pedal assist, and maybe you just want to get more of a workout. This bike can do both when it comes down to that. You can either ride it like a traditional bike, or you can put on those pedal assist levels or run it through throttle. Let's talk a little bit more about what the cockpit has to offer, and we'll talk about both of those things. On both the left and the right hand side, you're greeted with hydraulic brakes. On the left side you have a controller, the center you have a display, and the right side you have the throttle. You first start by powering on the bike. You can scroll through all 5 pedal assist levels, as well as check out the stats of your current and past rides. As we work our way down the bike, you see that the cables are very nicely tucked away and cleanly integrated into the bike. The High Step comes with a spring-loaded fork with 65 millimeters of travel that will allow you to be able to adjust between preload and stiffness on any terrain. The hydraulic brakes we spoke about before are married up to 180mm rotors, front and rear, for a smooth yet powerful stop. As we move to the midsection of the bike, you'll see that you're going to be riding 170mm cranks with a 42-tooth sprocket and standard platform pedals. The battery is nicely tucked away in the frame and is a 48-volt 692 watt-hour battery pack. Velotric also has that stamp of approval when it comes to safety with the UL certification on these LG 2170 cells. Now let's talk about the motor. This is the biggest misconception when it comes to a commuter bike. A lot of people think that you have to have the most powerful motor out there to get the longest distance to have the most comfortable ride. But that's not always the case. We're going to break it down right now with the Discover One High Step and talk all about the motor power output. This motor is a 48 volt, 500 watt motor with 65 Newton meters of max torque. And that max torque has an output of 900 watts. That type of wattage and torque can carry a max payload of 440 pounds. Yes, 440 pounds. That's absolutely insane. And that can carry you upwards of 60 miles of range with pedal assist and 45 miles of range with throttle only. Now, speaking of the pedal assist, it is a very smooth and gradual take-up. It's not like other bikes I've ridden before where as you're pedaling about 3/4 of the way in, it jolts you. It doesn't really do that. It has a very smooth take-up. About 1/4 of the way in, it starts and then kind of accelerates its way into it. Now, with the throttle only, it is very torquey. It's pretty windy right now, and I'm about to do it up and uphill, but here we go. All right, so we just reached the portion of the bike path that has a double switchback hill, and I think this will give a good representation of what this bike is capable of, because on a traditional bike, this hill is actually pretty difficult. I'm gonna do this in pedal assist level 5 and gear number 4. Let's get it going. All right, so I wanted to stop on the trail to let you guys know I just hit 40 miles on the odometer. That is a 40-mile trip under one charge with one battery pellet left, which means there's still a good amount of juice left in there, which we're gonna have to save that for a later video to do a full-on range test with this, but I'm really pleased with this. Just wanna let you guys know, 40 miles on the odometer. Let's keep it going. All right, so this is Mike from the future, and I wanted to showcase what the actual headlight looked like at night at the pitch black. Right now I'm using the display to light up my face because it's that dark out here on this road. I mean, look, I'm gonna step out. Pitch black. Can't see anything. You can kind of see the light from the bridge way down there. Now that I'm back in shot, I'm going to turn on the headlight and illuminate this road. This is gonna be pretty cool. Now, I've said this before when doing the review and range test of the step-through design. This is quite possibly the most comfortable commuter bike I've ever ridden. This is one of the first times I've never felt fatigued after a 25-mile ride. My hands and wrists weren't numb, and I know that's probably a common thing that's out there with most people. Obviously, your butt goes numb when you're riding for a long period of time, but sometimes my hands will go numb if I have them just in one spot for too long, or if the ergonomics are wrong and I'm putting too much weight on my wrist because of the position of the seat. With this bike, I don't really find that to be an issue. Most commuter-style brands have price in mind over comfort, when I think Velotric has both in mind. It has a premium ride with a non-premium price tag, and that's a great combo in my opinion. Now, if you'd like to know more information about the Velotric Discover 1 High Step, click the link in the description below. Also, check out their other bikes on their page. If you guys are into buying one, use my link in the description below to be able to get yourself a little bit of money off and help out the channel. I do plan on doing a comparison video between the step through and the high step here in the near future. If you guys have any suggestions for future videos, put those in the comments below. If you guys like this video, drop a like. If you love it, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.